he's going to talk about what it was like during those absent years of having a Father's Day and not having kids to celebrate Father's Day. And then I'll share some insight about what it was like growing up and the inconsistency of him not being there. And then what it was like to restore, like what did restoration look like for us, and what that story was. So we're not gonna keep y'all too long, but we gonna hit it, quit it. But we know that it's gonna bless somebody, whether it be a mother or father, an absent father that wants to be in their child's life. Hey, Janessa, how you doing? Oh yes, stay on here, stay with us, Janessa. I think this is gonna bless you, honey. What it was like to what it was like to go through that restoration process, and like I said, we're not gonna keep you too long, but we know that it'll bless somebody on what restoration looks like. Some absent fathers that want to be a part of their children's lives, they don't know what steps to take. And then you have some kids that want their fathers there. They don't know what steps to take. Sometimes you just don't know what to do based on how you're feeling. So it's on you, Pops.
Good afternoon. How y'all doing?
Y'all, does he not look 30? The Lord has blessed him. You hear me? And kept him. He gonna tell some of his story. How old are you?
59 years old.
Are you 59?
I'll be 60.
This man 59 years old, and I can't go anywhere without somebody thinking that he's my boyfriend. So I'm gonna have to get a shirt that says,
"My dad.
This is my father." But here we go.
I just want to say thank you. And God is good all the time. Sometimes I don't know where to start, but God has restored so much in so little time. If you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, first person you see is yourself. So that's who you have to deal with day in and day out. So I had learned through God's grace to deal with me. Because at one time I was dealing with everything else in these streets. Neglecting my kids, not being home, out there on drugs, doing things that was ungodly. God is good. Believe me all the time. Because my grandmama said, never let God take his hands off you. I've been through that. Believe me, you don't want that rapture on you. When God take his hand off you, he throw you to the wolves. He throw you in places that you can't even see your way out of. Period. You're going to go through the fight, the struggle, the darkness, the drugs, the beating, the robbing, the stealing, the selling the dope. I went through all this. And I was lost. But now I'm found. At one time, I was trying to reach out to my daughter. The other side of the family don't find him. Cool. You don't have no say-so in that. God do. One day I'm out there doing my drugging, my thugging. Before the county sheriff pulled up on me that know me and said, "Hey man, you got a wanted picture." I said, "What I done?" I said, "On this." I said, "I just threw my hands up." He said, "Boy, take your hands down. You ain't even your daughter looking for you." I said, "Oh my God." I'm talking about posters on everywhere. I called that number. She said, "You ain't my dad. What's your name? Where will you stay?" Woo, 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 woo. She said, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Them 10 minutes. I'm drugging. I keep it 100. I didn't know what to do. Hide my shit. Keep my shit. I threw my shit away. My daughter was coming to get me. So we met. The rest is history. You see where we at today. Standing strong. Johnson & Johnson standing strong. And I want to say for the guys that don't think their dad ain't about nothing, don't judge that. God will heal things in the right time, in the right place, in the right month or the year. Believe me. He will heal things. You know, I know we got a lot of deadbeat dads out there, and I was one of them. I could raise my hand. But God will restore what you need for the process to start over and be better and be greater. And he will take it to another level. You know, we all ain't perfect. I'm not all perfect, but I am so better than where I was. Please believe that. Please believe that. You know, God has restored a lot of things that I didn't have. I'm talking about little things. It's the little things that God restored that keep you with faith. Keep you saying, God, thank you every morning when you get up and look in that mirror and say, thank you. You know? I look at myself sometimes and like, do I deserve this? No, I don't. I don't deserve what you're doing, man. And you know me. I talk to him just like I'm talking to y'all on Facebook. He's like us. He's no better than us. He ain't show no color. He's human like us. He been through the same thing we going through. He know we gonna go through this before we even thought we were gonna go through it. He done started a new chapter in my life. And things deep. It's heavy. It's heavy. I'm blessed to be him. Cause I'm supposed to have been dead. They counted me out at 23 years old. I am going on 60. Now, y'all haters, stand back and look at it. This is what God does. It ain't me. I got a part in it now. It's some work I had to do to get to him. God just ain't gonna come and wake up in the morning and just put it in your hand. You got to put the work in. I'm talking about put it in spiritually, mentally, and physically. You got to put your work in. And he gonna open up a door for you to go through. When you go through that door, it might not be the door you need to go through. It might not be the door you want to go through. But it's going to be the door you need to go through. You feel me? You're going to need to go through this to get to that other door. Ain't going to be the door you want. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, God has been so good. I picture this day. And me and her sitting there on Facebook talking, you know. And she had been wanting me to be a speaker and write a book. Stay in position. You stay in position. God gonna find you and do works for you. But when you out of position, he can't find you. He don't know what to do with you. Stay in position. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you doing out there. Spiritually, stay in position. God will come get you, find you, and work with you. If I was out of position, this would not be happening. I'd be somewhere getting high. Keep it 100. I'm in position. She can pick up that phone at any time. Dad. 20 years ago, she didn't know who couldn't even find Freddie Jones. Some folks have been announcing me dead. But I'm a soldier of God. I'm still fighting. Gonna keep fighting till the day I die. Okay? So I'm hungry right now. And we finna go eat something. So Facebook lovers, I love y'all. You need me. I'm on Facebook. Want to chat, we can. Spiritually, mentally, it don't matter. You know, I got street knowledge. I got spiritual knowledge. I got living knowledge, whatever y'all need. That's for anybody who want to reach out and do the right thing now. Don't reach out for no crap, because I'm going to cut your neck. I'm going to cut you off. Okay? I'm like that. I'm a Leo. All right? I keep it 100. Because I got to with myself. So I ain't got time for nobody else BSing. So let's keep it God-likely. Love y'all. Peace.
So I'm just over here, y'all, just trying not to cry, but you know. So you heard some of my dad's story and some of his testimony, and I'll tell it from my side. So when I heard God say, like, clear as day to find him, these were the clear instructions, real talk. God said, find him and tell him that there's somebody out here that loves him. And I was like, wait a minute. You want me to do what? This man has not consistently been in my life. And I resented him for it. I was angry at him for it. There were times that he was in and out. And for the times that he was there when I was younger, I loved it. I remember how it felt to have my father there. And I remember feeling like a daddy's girl, just being real. I remember what it felt like, oh my God, my dad is here. Like, I love having my dad. So when he disappeared for these extended amount of times, which had to do more with his drug use, then I would get angry because there was no consistency there. And I wanted to be consistently loved the way that he was loving me as a father. And so I got this assignment. God is like, find him, tell him somebody love him. I'm like, I'm not even too sure if I do love him. So you want me to do what? So I was obedient. I didn't know what was going to come of it. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I printed flyers, put his face all over Atlanta, Georgia. Craziest thing. When God tells you to do something, he will always provide the resources, and he will always provide, he will always give the provision for the assignment that he told you to do. So I'm working at the Salvation Army, volunteering with my sorority at the time, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Shameless plug. But anyway, so I'm volunteering. We're doing some work at the Salvation Army, and I pass out the flyer, and someone tells me, one of the dudes on the street tells me, I just seen Fred, like, down the street. And I'm like, you lying? Like, whatever. No, you haven't. Because I was getting a lot of runaround with these flyers. I mean, people was calling me. It was crazy. Like, hey, I know where your daddy at. Let's meet up and eat. For real? You don't know Frederick Johnson. I'm not meeting up with you. So I was wise about it because I didn't put my real number. I put like my Google number. But yeah, so the guy was like, yeah, your dad down the street. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So I finished volunteering. This man told me my dad was less than 5 minutes away from me. This guy. Less than 5 minutes away from me while I was volunteering at the Salvation Army. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I hear you, but I don't believe it. So I'm on my way to my aunt's house. I pull into the driveway. I get a phone call. It's this guy. And he's like, this your father? I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, it's not. It couldn't have been that easy. Let me tell you about the process of finding him, though. I didn't know if he was dead or alive. I didn't know if he had overdosed on drugs. I didn't know whether or not he was homeless and out here in the street. So I'm over here volunteering at the Peachtree and Pine homeless shelter. I'm out there feeding them. I'm looking at all these homeless dudes. I'm like, I don't even know if I know what he looks like. So the only picture that I have is a mugshot from when he was arrested a long time ago. So I'm looking at all these black men. I'm looking at all these broken men, and it did something. It did something to me. And I was like, wow, how many broken men are out here that want to do right, that want to reconcile with their families, that want to reconcile with their children, and they don't know where to start or what to do. So what God was doing in that process, he was warming my heart. He was softening my heart, because if I would have found him, or if we would have met before I had to go through that process, I don't think it would have been the same. I wouldn't have had the same empathy, and I wouldn't have had the same grace and mercy that I don't deserve, that he shows me daily. So I'm looking at all these homeless men. I'm putting up flyers. So anyway, he calls me. He's like, hey, yo, this is your dad, whatever. And yeah, the rest is pretty much history. This has been a process. This has not been easy. I had to deal with some things within myself, and I had to decide, okay, are you really going to forgive him for not being there? And are you not going to hold it over his head? And are you just going to start from where you are right now? And I also want to say that with any child that is restoring a relationship with their parent, you have to understand that your parent, you have to understand and respect their capacity. I was looking for something from him. This is what was making it tedious. I was looking for something from him that he was not capable nor able to give me in that given moment. So I was trying to force a capacity level on him that he didn't have. Why my daddy not calling me every day? Why my dad not texting me? Why this? Why that? Why isn't he consistent? Well, he just spent how many years out of your life? inconsistently. And so now all of a sudden you just want an immediate change. But let me tell you what happens, and let me tell you what prayer does. So all of a sudden, I'm getting good morning text messages almost every morning. And initially, I ignored them. I'm not going to lie. I didn't reply to them. Did I reply?
No, you didn't.
But he kept texting me. And I noticed that he was being consistent. And what that said to me was, he's being intentional about this relationship. And so I had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to be intentional about this relationship with my father, because he's still my father. And I'll be very transparent and say I didn't know what to do when he came back into my life and when God started restoring things, because my issue was, well, God said honor your mother and your father. My mother is deceased. What am I supposed to do with this over here?
Keep it.
But what? How do I honor something that was dishonorable to me? That's just real.
Yeah.
These are the questions I was asking myself. And I promise you, it was nothing but the grace of God and obedience that brought us to this day. Today. And even today I had a struggle. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, do I really want to like take him out or whatever? It comes in and out. But you know what? Here we are. This 60-year-old man looking 30. But I have to get a shirt that says he is not my boyfriend. Otherwise, I mean, I'm single out here in these ATL streets, and I don't need him throwing salt in my game. So anyway, so that's all we're going to share today. I don't know how long this live is or whatever. But one thing I do know is that it's going to touch somebody that has either been dealing with or struggling with whether or not they're going to try to reach out to their parent that offended them, or whether or not they want to continue to make it work even with their child, or even with their parent being as imperfect as they are. Mark Moore posted something the other day. Elder Moore, I'm sorry, I apologize. Elder Mark Moore posted something about that grace hit different when you don't deserve it. When you know you don't deserve it. This man has been on drugs. He has done drugs for a long time. He's clean now, but look at him. This is grace that he don't deserve. I haven't done drugs, but I mean, I did some pretty irresponsible things in college. There was some irresponsible behavior that I conducted in, or I participated in, and I'm here today with some grace and mercy that I know I don't deserve. Right. I know I don't. But it's when you're transparent and you're real with God that he can work with that. That's why he loved David so much. That's why David was a man after God's own heart, because David was real with God. Yeah, that's right. David was real with God. There we go. All right, so we're finna go eat. I hope line. I need you to finesse the lady at the front desk.
See what I'm saying? That Johnson thing. I got to go ahead and do my finesse. No problem.
I'm ready to eat. All right. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all take care. I hope they pray that this bless somebody. If it did, I want you to share it. And I want you to inbox us, or I want you to comment and tell us whether or not something was said or whether or not something was mentioned that blessed you in regards to this. So, yeah. We love y'all. Happy Father's Day. Restoration Edition. Say bye.
Bye-bye.